Just over a year ago, I landed my first tech sales job working remotely, making base plus uncapped commission salary that got me to travel to Europe, Japan, and China. But not only that, I hope many people come from different industries, landing their first tech sales job, making 80, 90K, even 206K plus 10K signing bonus. What you're about to watch is the most valuable, down-to-earth tech sales job hunt coaching you can find on YouTube, and I mean it. In this full course, which I hate to say it's a course, but in this program you will learn about the exact steps and scripts that we use to land the tech sales offer and what you need to do every day, from editing your LinkedIn, sending cold outreach message to hiring manager so you don't need to apply online, and how do you coffee chat to get referral, and eventually once you get the interview, how do you pass them. But I do need to warn you, this video is not your typical 10 minutes career advice, career tips. You really need to come back, keep watching this again and again, and most importantly, take action. This is everything I wish I know when I first started, and I'm giving you each workbook to you for free. Now, before we start, first thing first, what exactly is tech sales? So there's a couple names, some people call it software sales, SaaS sales. SaaS stand for software as a service. So all of these things, it's all, I call it tech sales, it's easier to say it. In a nutshell, tech sales is you're selling a software solution to a company. Let's say selling a software takes 10 steps. The first 3 steps, we have a role for it. It's called BDR, SDR. It stands for business development, sales development. And the rest of the 7 steps, or we would say the whole selling cycle, it's in charge by AE, which we call it account executive. They're the big boss. They're the one that actually making 400K, if you keep growing in this career. But doesn't mean BDR doesn't make money. It's an entry-level tech sales job. You still make 80, 90K. Some of the offer, it's 100K. And their salary structure, it's base plus commission. So every bi-weekly, in North America, you always get paid bi-weekly. You get a certain base, so you feel comfortable living your life, But on top of that, if you hustle, if you exceed target, you will make a certain commission. And if you exceed it, of course, you will get bonuses as well. But don't take my word for it. You can go do research on RapView, look at the tech sales job in your area and how much are they actually paying. And I know a lot of time when people think about sales, they just roll their eye. They would be like, oh my god, salesy person, or I just need to do cold call, cold email all the time, and being rejected and stuff. I mean, those are part of sales, but what you actually do, for example, a BDR, their role is actually not to sell the software. Their job is to really make the prospect, which is a company that you're talking to, interested, curious about your software. And then for account executive, they are the ones supposed to take the leads from the BDR and then eventually move the deal forward and close the deal. Their job is AE's job is to sell the software. But overall, tech sales is very strategic. It's very fun as well, because it's not selling a clothes. It's not I walk into Aritzia and then I just want to sell you everything by forcing you to keep trying or whatever. Tech sales is a way longer cycle and higher ticket sales, so it involves a lot of strategic thinking, it involves a lot of grinding, right? It's a combination of your actual sales skills and your personality, I would say. And one question that everyone is talking about, it's it's AI gonna replace my job? And some people ask me too, it's AI actually gonna replace BDR or AE? My answer is no. I think sales would be the last job AI can replace, because it's directly working with human, right? And it involves a lot of human touches, interaction to build trust and eventually start a discovery of the sales. All of these things, you really need someone, right? An actual human to do it. I would say AI is actually making the industry better. For example, BDR nowadays, they probably don't need to grind and make 60 cold call on their own manually. Nowadays there's software like Nukes. They can automatically just like dial cold call for you, and then you can just sit there and wait for whoever that picks up, and you can like go in and talk to the prospect. And also like for AE to manage their day-to-day, their task, there's a lot of like good things to help them. For example, like Gong, it's a great tool to document their meetings and also give them feedback on their sales skill, on their presentation skills. But like I would definitely say the tech sales industry has changed, has evolved, right, over the year. Because for example, 10 years ago, like everyone know, like if you join Salesforce and sell their CRM, like you can make banks from it, right? Because like 10 years ago, like basically there's no company have CRM installed yet, and selling that, it's like free money, you know, a lot of lay down sales. But like looking at 2025, it's been like very difficult for people to sell CRM like Salesforce because it's pretty saturated, versus like a cybersecurity company, it's like a growing trend, right? So like moving forward, the trend in tech sales is more like cybersecurity, AI solution, all that. And I also see a trend that as AI is evolving, top tech salesperson, they would be someone that have sales skills plus technical skills, because information is so overload nowadays. Like people that are too technical can like basically be replaced by machine, you know, because like AI know way more than a human, right? And if a salesperson only know how to sell but like don't have that technical skills that understand their prospect, it's not enough to move the deal forward. So the future is the tech sales future is really someone that understands sales, understand human psychology, but also have some knowledge about a specific industry. So if you are that, like your future will be super bright. And now I'm going to talk about some benefits of tech sales. Like obviously it's, you know, like physical freedom, because most of the job is remote, you can do it from home. And then second is financial freedom. Like I said, you actually make commission, so it's like if you work harder, right, and strategically, like you will hit quota and you will be able to make more money, and you will have control of it too. Like let's say around Christmas, you know, like 2 months before it, you want to save some money to go on a trip. You know, that's how I went to Japan and Europe, you know, because I started grinding in October, and yeah, like I was able to make 10K in December. The last thing is time freedom. Like you are able to schedule your own day, you know, like you don't have to wake up and do this for sure, because like it's very flexible. Like your manager doesn't really care like what are you doing every day, as long as you hit target, you know. Like of course there are some micromanager. Now I remember when I was breaking into tech sales, I was only like 23, 24, and I was stuck at the cubicle for 2 years. And I knew during that time, like I want to change job, but I didn't really know what can I do. I was a data analyst, like I study commerce. It's not like so like back then I was like, okay, like what can I do, you know, like with my analyst background, I understand data, and can I try project management, all that, you know. But I was like lost for a bit, but then like I knew what I don't want. Like 3 things. Like 1, I don't want to like keep commuting to the office. Back then I was commuting 2 hours a day. It was so tiring, just like sitting in the car, and then you have no time basically, because you're studying traffic. After you get home, you're so tired. And that's one thing I know I don't want. And then second, it's like I was really at a point that I want to make more money. Back then I was able to travel like once a year, you know, like if I can squeeze it, I could do 2. But like I was so curious about the whole world. I want to see like different culture. And back then I was living in Canada. So I was like, yeah, like I want more money, you know, I can do more stuff. So with those, like that's what really get me into tech sales. It's not like I love cold calling or I really know how to cold call before I join. It's like I learn along the way. And specifically, I would say I actually learned a lot before I joined tech sales, which I wish I have all these documents I'm gonna show you guys. Alrighty, so here's a real document in part of my program. So I'm gonna show you all the important documents in our program that really move the needle. And here's the first one. when you started, the very important thing is to design your dream career. With designing, first thing you need to build your LinkedIn presence. And what I do is you can copy this. Like LinkedIn is your sales page, just like company have a website, your LinkedIn is your website and it has to sell you. And how you can do it, it's like you can copy this prompt, it's really just to tell your story better, make things that is relevant to tech sales. The very important things I would say is you need to make sure you're adding numbers, impact, and showing how you get there. And I really love this prompt because it's like so tight, it's so concise, and it really gets the results I needed. So first thing, act like, so like you wanna first tell AI like what kind of role you wanna define them, so they are actually thinking in that area that you specifically want them to go to. So you can insert the role, it's either BDR or AE, right? And very importantly for LinkedIn, you just wanna work on your headline and about session. Headline, it's like how recruiter can find you with keywords. The about session, it's more like you can tell your story. It's really just like your cover letter. And then you can insert your background, right? It's very important for your AI to understand like who you are, so they can like repackage it for you. And you can also attach your resume to make it more tailored, to make sure they understand like your experience. You can also include your call script so they understand how you talk, right? And then these are the prompts. So these two sentences are what really makes my prompt better. It's like you want them to ask you a question, right? So they can understand like what is missing, and then they will ask you a question that you'll be surprised that you didn't think about. And of course, we want to build a 0.1% profile. So like this sentence really make the AI to think deeper. And here is what you should do in week 1. Basically, you should watch my movie. So here's one of the very important document from our program. And here's the schedule for week 1. Like if you stay with this every day, just 90 minutes, guys, like you'll be unstoppable. Like you for sure can find a job within a month. Cause like I did it. Like back then, I don't even know what is my movie and all that. I was just mainly doing one thing, like which is this LinkedIn outreach. Now I'm gonna show you the full breakdown. I understand you have a full-time job, right? Everyone does. Everyone finding a job still have a job, right? I know you're busy, but it's only 90 minutes of your day. Like find ways to squeeze it out, right? I mean, it could be only 30 minutes, but if you do the rest, it will be better. So now, first thing in the morning, when you wake up, you should watch my movie, which I will walk you through in this video later on. And then second, fanatical prospecting. Oh my God, this book, it's the foundation of my tech sales career. Like if you don't have time to read it, I can summarize it for you with one sentence. It's basically you gotta keep prospecting every day, no matter what. So that's in a nutshell, right? But reading it really build your habit and build your mentality. Like, cause like sometimes we just don't want to prospect. Sometimes you get tired. But like what he's saying inside the book, it really build a foundation. So you will keep filling up your pipeline, right? Showing prospect how you are a pro through calls, email, and social media. Fanatical prospecting is a must for BDR and AE. Because every sales start with a pipeline, right? If your pipeline is dry, like there's no sales at all. And then other than that, if you have time, like Sales EQ is another like great books. I remember when I was job hunting, I would listen to this every day when I was in traffic, like one side, like I hate traffic, I was driving there back and forth, so tiring, but like listening to this gives me hope. I just feel like the more knowledge I know about tech sales, the better. And Sales EQ really built my mental strength, because first thing, like, EQ, like it's to show you how to learn about your emotion. And then how do we, because like you cannot really, because it's hard to connect with other people if you cannot even control your own emotion, so managing your own emotion is the first step. And then second, it's like in order to talk to the prospect, you have to connect with them and also build trust. Like all of these things are skills. So coming back here, in the schedule, right? Like it would be good if you can watch my movie in the morning for just 10 minutes and then read the book for 20 minutes. And then most importantly, if you only have 30 minutes a day, you should only focus on LinkedIn outreach. And then interview. This is Yodely. It's amazing. So you want to practice interview before you even have interview, which is week 1. Like now we're talking about week 1 only, right? Because like when you have the interview and you go practice, it's already kind of too late, right? Like you could have just started earlier. And that's how I teach my clients. Like this is our general structure. Like stick with it, you will get results fast. And then like at the end of the day, it will be good to journal, right? Just like this is my journal. Like inside there's a lot of like tech sales secret inside. It's like my emotional breakdown, my wins, my grateful, like whatever that I feel grateful, I write it here. And it's like sometimes job hunting is very lonely and you don't know who to talk to sometimes, because like maybe some of your friends are still partying, you're the one that wanting to build a career, right? Or in a family, like you are the man, you are supposed to provide, but you feel like should I tell my wife that like I'm job hunting, right? I'm switching career, and they might see it as a risk, right? Sometimes you just don't have no one to talk to, and journaling is your best friend. Because I remember one sentence, I think it's from Ryan Holiday, yeah, or I don't know for someone else, I forgot. But essentially they're saying journaling, it's like vomiting on a piece of paper instead of vomiting on your loved one, on your friends. And it's absolutely truth. Like I highly recommend. This is your emotional regulator. And then like of course at the end of the day, like you gotta watch my movie again. So of course in this video I will walk you through like all these things. So let's keep moving. And then it's good to have some goal, right? Like that's the essence of sales. Like you have to have a clear goal, right, that you can hit. So write down some things that you want to do. Just like back then, my goal was to break into tech sales within a month, right? I write it on my journal as well. And here it's kind of the breakdown, right? If you write it down, it's easier to achieve it. That's how I see it. Because like when you write things down, you're actually triggering the creative side of your brain, and you actually sending energy to the universe as well. Like after you set the goal, then you need to understand, okay, like what are the companies I can actually apply, right? When I say apply, it's like you're actually working on it. You're not actually applying online. So here is like I'm gonna show you guys like how I interact with my clients sometimes. So like they would text me on WhatsApp, right? Like they was like, oh, I have this question, like what do I do, you know? Like even though there's a clear plan, sometimes they need like personalized advice. And this is one of the way how I show my clients like what to do. I send them so like back then the question was like, oh, like how do I find opening roles that is like in the past 24 hours? And inside this video I also included a trick. How can you find videos that is within 5 seconds? So if you watch till here, you feel like, oh my god, like I love these information, but I also need help to implement it, because information is free. That's why we're giving it away. But actually implemented all these things, right? Making sure you're able to like pass interview, giving you like real-time support. These things require an investment. So if you feel like this is the mentorship you need, feel free to book a call with me in the description below, and I will come out and have a chat with you, right? See if there's anything we can help you with, right? So we're gonna insert this video as well, like we're gonna show it to you. Welcome. In this video, I'm going to show you how to find open roles on LinkedIn and how to set up job alert for the role you want to apply for. So let's say you're on LinkedIn. Let me go back there, right? You just log in and then you go to search. You type in the role you want to apply for. In this case, let's say it's BDR job. What you need to do is make sure the filter is in job, right? And then you can filter out a location that you want to apply in. And then here's another filter you can do, date posted. And the closest date LinkedIn have is past 24 hours. So if you click on it and show results, you will see all the job posts that are posted within the past 24 hours. But let's say you already prospect all of it, right? And you're very hardworking, you did great job, and you already have all of them. Then here's another trick to look for job posts that is most recent. So what you can do is click on the URL here, right? And you see there is 86400. You would delete it and replace it with 36,000 and then hit enter. Now immediately you will see these are the most recent job posts, right? Like this one just posted 2 hours ago, so you could be the latest one to apply for and prospect them. And then after you filter out all the things you need, what you can do is you can turn on this button. Originally it was off, right? If you never turn it on. And if you turn it on, right? So what you will get is every day on your email, you will get a job post like this. They would tell you, okay, like here's all your job that fit into your requirement. So yeah, I hope this trick is helpful. And so like, right, when you brainstorm your target company, you can write it down, but like only target company that is hiring right now. Like if they're not hiring, like why are you targeting them? Even though like, let's say Nukes, like the AI automation calling software that I told you, it's your dream company. You love them, you heard great things about them, but they are not hiring, then you should remove them on your list. There's no point to target them when they're not hiring, because your goal is to get the job within a month, right? Like down the line, you can always apply, like once you're in the door, right? You can always apply for other jobs. But right now, remember, if landing a job within a month is your goal, then you should only stick with the company that is hiring. Now guys, like this session is the most important session. I would say this strategy can not only help you land a job, but also be very, very successful in tech sales. So I call it 2 tiers prospecting method. So what you essentially doing is after you find a company, right, have a list of company that you really want to get into and they're hiring, how you can actually find people to get referrals or like actually stand out, right, to get interview is to the strategy. We call it 2 tiers prospecting. So the reason why it's 2 tier is because like you need to start with tier 1 first and then you go tier 2. So how it works is you want to talk to people that is in your peer level, right, to gather information and potentially get a referral. If you're applying for BDR job, you should target SDR, BDR. You can also talk to AE as well, and vice versa. If you are targeting AE jobs, you should still talk to some BDRs, because like you as an AE, you also work with BDR, right, to move deals, to start conversation. So that's what we call peer level prospecting. And inside here, you just want to like identify pain point, like why are they hiring right now, right, and what is their pain point selling this solution. If you're selling Salesforce, you want to understand like what is the core problem they're solving for their customer. And you also want to understand like what is their target, right? Like as a salesperson, we want to hit target. So before you join, you should have a very clear understanding of what is their expectation, right? And then it's good to know the number so you can bring out an interview, right, to impress the hiring manager. And you want to understand how they're cold calling, how they are positioning their product, like what is their ICP. I remember this one time my HR friend told me, she was like, I was interviewing this person and then I can saw that like they're reading notes from my AI, and then when I asked them, they don't even know like what is my ICP, what the company do. And then these are like huge red flag, you know, like and sometimes I understand like it's hard to know what exactly the product does through their website or LinkedIn, because like they just write in a very professional sense. It's hard to understand, and this is where like these prospecting come from. Like you can talk to people inside a company and then use their words, like see how do they actually talk about their ICP, what kind of keywords they use. That's the reason why you want to start with like tier 1 peer prospecting. And then most importantly, people within the company, like you want to ask for a referral, because like most of the time they will get at least 1K bonus if you are being hired and they refer you. So it's like a win-win situation. So that's a secret sauce, you know, like that's how you get referral, and that's why you should start prospecting like this. And then like after that, right, let's say you actually get a referral or you don't, it's not the end of the world. You want to also talk to decision maker in the company. So decision maker like sales manager, right, AE, or like the VP of sales, or you can like even talk to CRO. CRO is basically the highest guy in the sales department. So here, like your objective is really to use what you learn from tier 1, right? Really craft a compelling conversation to these guys, because like they're more higher level. You can just ask them generic question, you know, they get bored and they don't want to reply to you as well. Like obviously I would tell you the script, but like here it's very important for you to understand the strategy and how to execute it. It's basically, right, take what you learned here and then put it in here. And in this step, you can also straight up ask for an interview. Like it really shows how bold you are, and that's how you stand out. Because no one really have the ball or like feel like, okay, oh my god, like can I ask that? Is that too much? Yeah, like totally. Because like you're supposed to show them you're a hunter, right? So asking the bold question, it's the way to stand out. So like here's our example. Like here's when we work with clients, like I show them like, okay, what kind of company you should prospect, and then we narrow down into Okta, and here's the actual people that like I was showing them like how to send the message. And here's one of the message, you know, like we always try to A/B test, and this is like a template. You want to massage it into your tone of voice and your style as well. But essentially you want to start with saying your goal, right, what you want to do, and then you also want to build connection with them. Because like these people that we are targeting, of course I find them on LinkedIn and I show it to my clients to give them guidance. Essentially you want to build connection with the person you're sending message to first, right? That's why I was like, okay, I saw you transition from that's why we say like I saw you transition into BDR from like XYZ industry. I'm doing the same too, you know. Would love to hear about your experience. It's like very short and concise to the point. And the psychology behind this is really like humans like to help people, and we especially like to help the old self. When I say the old self, it's more like, let's say I achieve it, you know, that's exactly why I'm doing this program. I did it. I was able to land my first tech sales job without any experience, without any like sales experience, right? And I did it. So I want to give back. I want to help people. I want to see my old self success as well. Here's the reason behind these messaging, and it's really effective. Like my clients are getting a lot of referrals and coffee chat just from this. And then in the meantime, you know, like it's not enough. Like talking to SDR, BDR is not enough. They might not reply, which is the norm. You know, like don't get upset that people don't reply, because just remember, like they're very busy, and it's a norm. Like in this world, like no one would have 100% reply rate, but people that reply to you, you know, like, but just know like people will reply to you. And then like here's another script you can use to just like talk to hiring manager to really impress them. Even though like you know like you might meet them in interview settings, there's no harm to already connect with them on LinkedIn and stand out. And I literally got an interview just from doing that. So essentially when you talk to BDR manager, then you gotta be a little more like bold, you know, like show your ball. Essentially be like, oh, like your team is hiring for BDR, right? Like I wanted to reach out, and then I'm excited about this role. Is there anything you can help me stand out in the interview process? You know, because in a very structured corporate world, it has to go through the HR first, right? But there's a time that I just sent this exact message to the hiring manager, and then like he just told the HR to give me interview. You know, like that's exactly why I scripted this message and how we get results. And you always want to like sign the message with this like very bold message, like your future number one BDR, which I eventually became, you know, like I was the number one. Okay, so after you understand the strategy and now you know how to craft these message, then here it's how to take action. What you want to do is send out at least 35 connection every day. You know, that's around 7 company. So each company you can send to 5 people, right? If you want the result faster, you can double down this number. And let's say you cannot do it every day, then still try to squeeze in 5 days of work. But then like every day you need to increase the numbers you prospect. So essentially only thinking like you can do it every day is not enough, because what isn't tracking isn't growing. So what you need to do is like you need to build an Excel sheet like this. Like, cause like back then I was an Excel nerd, and it's good to understand your numbers, you know, just like when you started doing the job, like you should track your number as well. And you want to understand every day how many things you're actually sending out, right? Is it by how many company, and what is your referral rate, interview conversion rate, meaning like out of the 5 interviews that you did, how many did you actually got offers? Like all of these things is very important to track and understand. Because like if things are not going after week 1, right, then like you gotta adjust your strategy a little bit. That's why some people might think like, oh Yvonne, like why are you showing all the document from your program? Like people pay to get in, you know, but like information is free. Even though like, I'm showing you all the information, what I'm charging is the implementation. Information is totally free, it's everywhere, right? Like nowadays there's AI, there's ChatGPT and all that like free things on YouTube. You can always get it for free because information is free, but implementation costs things. But implementation would cost like an investment, because like we are actually coming in to coach you one-on-one, to guide you, right, when you are like lost and if you need guidance. So here's a snapshot of a sequence you can do in week 1 and week 2. You should keep sending 35 plus messages daily, right? But what is very important is your follow-ups. Like here is a cadence of your workflow, right? If they don't reply, which is the norm, totally fine, but then you need to think about like how to follow up and how to actually catch their attention creatively, like by sending a Loom video, or you can use Vidyard, Loom, whatever that you prefer. You know, like the core is to get their attention, make yourself stand out. And then like of course like tracking your progress is very important. So after you work on your LinkedIn and you build a habit to do daily outreach, then you would get referrals. Then they will ask you to send them your resume. Now we're gonna talk about resume. So essentially, like I'm not a big fan of resume. I feel like everyone should just spend 1 to 2 hours max to work on it, because it's not that important. Because everyone have a resume and it's just hard to stand out on a piece of paper. So, but it's still essential, you know, that you still need this paper to submit the application. So here is what I need to tell you first. Hiring manager and HR, they will only spend 6 seconds scanning your resume. So your goal is to create interest, not build perfection. So like don't spend a week to work on your resume. Like it's very common mistake people do. And then second thing is your resume, it's a launch pad of your interview story, right? Like don't tell your don't put your high school experience there. Like don't make it 3 pages. No one is gonna read it. I would say the first thing to work on resume is very important for you to ask yourself these questions. In the AI prompt, they will ask you, so it's very important to understand like what is the biggest number you can attach to your work. I know like some of you come from a background that literally don't have KPIs, you know, but then like think about in your quarterly review, like what does your manager really care about? Like what's the numbers, percentage that they care about? Then you should lean into those numbers, right? And then we're in sales, like they want to see you're able to go above and beyond a target, even though it's not a solid quota or a solid goal. But if you have certain like project deadline, let's say, you know, like you can always just write it in like that. And then when it comes to like qualitative influence question. So on the qualitative side, so you need to prepare some example that you go above and beyond, right? And then sales is all about changes and persuasion. So like, when was this time that you changed someone's mind, or how do you handle objection, right? Because like you might think about, oh, like my job doesn't even have objection, people don't tell me no. But like, think about a time that you want your colleagues to help you do this, you know, like move things faster, and then they might give you excuses, and how do you change their mind, right? Like, that's like how you dissolve objection as well. So here's the core AI prompt that we use, right? After you think about those questions, right, have the foundation of like who you are, what you did before, then here's the core AI prompt that we use. So you wanna paste your experience here, and you wanna almost like attach what you think about in the questions, what you reflect just now, and then you gotta tell them the job requirement, right? And then you need to tell them, like, you can paste the job description here as well. And then most importantly, you want them to hit these points on the resume. You want to show them, okay, you'll be able to generate pipeline, get leads, and then like progression, right? Growth a deal. And then also like use some tech sales language like ARR, annual recurring revenue. And also very importantly, other than numbers, like how do you influence others? How do you work with other people? So here's some common mistake that I see people make when they're using AI to like prompt their resume. Like, you cannot give very generic action. You know, like one thing, it's like, don't give very generic action prompt. Instead of saying like, make my resume better, like say transfer my customer service experience into tech sales language, focusing on relationship building and problem solving, right? And then also like, okay, like add more keywords. Like, you need to tell them like what kind of keywords, doing what. So, and last but not least, like instead of saying like make it impressive, it's really just to like tell them to show more detail, like qualify the business impact, right? Whatever that you put on your resume, after you read out the sentence, you gotta think about like, okay, so what? Like, what is the business output, right? What is it impacting my previous job? So after the resume, after you send out Outreach Daily, you will get coffee chat, and this is where referral happens. You know, like sometimes it happens throughout the chat, like people just like so nice and they will just refer you after you send them the first cold outreach message. But then like sometimes like you want to get on a call with them to get more information and potentially like almost like close a deal, which is like close this coffee chat to get yourself an interview. So very importantly, coffee chat is not just to network. You know, it's like you have a mission, like you wanna at least either get more information about the company and the role, or you wanna get a referral. So here's what you need to do before the coffee chat. You want to really stalk the person, right? Because like they're generous enough to give you their time. So you should at least respect them by looking at their LinkedIn, their posts, their job change, to understand like who they are, be curious, and then like also like get some information so you can build the rapport at the beginning of the call, right? Like you can see, okay, if you guys go to the same school, have a similar hobby, right? And this is how you build the connection in the call, like which I'm going to show you later. And then also like draft a follow-up email, which will show you as well in this document. So here's what you need to do to prepare for the coffee chat. It's very simple, right? What is more important is you understand how to run the coffee chat. So the first thing first, always start with building real connection. No matter in interview or coffee chat, you should do it, because like that's how you build the emotional tone, how you make them like you. And here's the ways to make them like you. First, you want to mirror their energy. Like if they come in like super calm and collective, but like you are like naturally very like vibrant, then you should tone yourself a little. Like you should tone down your energy a little bit just to match theirs. right? But if it's the other way, right, like if you are a very quiet person, but like you can sense the other person like have a lot of like passion, energy, then you should like, you know, at least sit straight and then bring out your energy a little bit to match their tone, because people like people that are similar to them. And you know, like give them some compliment, make them happy, and right, make them laugh, do some playful joke. Like these are how to build rapport, right? And don't skip it. It's very important, because without phase 1, it's hard to get to phase 2 and then phase 3, you know. So phase 2 is very important. Like this is a coffee chat, right? And your goal is to get a referral, and phase 2 is where the referral can happen by asking oh my god, like that's the opposite you should do. By asking genuine good question following IPQ format. I'll show you what is it as well. Phase 3 is that you want to close the interview, right? It's either closing with like on a good note that you guys will stay connected, or you want to get the referral. So like I mentioned, asking genuinely good question is a way to build trust, make them feel like you are a good candidate or a good colleague to have. So, and here's the framework. IPQ stands for information, perspective, and question. Information, it's like, okay, yeah, like I saw your team recently expanded into the SMB market, you know, like you're just showing your observation here. And then P stands for perspective. It's like you want to add a little perspective into what you saw. It's like, for example, like to me, oh, like that signal, that company is betting bigger on faster selling cycle. And then Q is the actual question you wanna ask. It's like, oh, is that something that hiring manager explicitly looking for? You know, like SMB experience, or like someone that worked in this environment before. So here's how to run it. I'm going to show you a real example. For example, you want to ask them like, what do they value in the company? So start with information, what you learn, right? It seems like grit and coachability shows up again and again, and as a key differentiator. Like, I'm just curious, like, is that something they actively accessing during the interview? You know, like that's how you ask good, smart question. If you can ask question this way, it really shows that you're smart. And then after the conversation, you know, like generally, like you want to ask a question for like 15 to 20 minutes. If the coffee chat is 30 minutes. So like at the end of the 5 minutes, you want to have some like next step call to action, right? Then you want to ask them, okay, like I really enjoy our conversation. Like, do you think like, you can refer me? Is that a thing at the company? You know, because like just remember, like don't afraid to ask. They will get bonuses, like most of the time, not 100%, but like I would say like a lot of tech company, they do have incentive like that, because it's very hard to actually hire good talents nowadays, and a lot of company have these incentive. So don't be afraid to ask. And then like here is a good follow-up email or message you can send them on LinkedIn or email after the coffee chat, right? Like first thank them, and then if you have a question you can ask, but most importantly, if there's next step and call to action, right? If they was like, oh, like send me your resume, I can refer you, then like don't forget to attach it and send it to them ASAP, right? And then lastly, if you are able to like work on the core document that we just go through, you will land interview. If you are consistently doing the work in week 1 and week 2, by week 3, like for sure you will land interview, and congratulations, you know. And when you landed the interview, the first thing you should do is to not even like preparing for the interview, because you're supposed to prepare and practice interview question on week 1. By week 3, once you get interview with like, let's say Toast, then you should apply for their competitor immediately. The reason is, first, you want to build scarcity during the interview process. You want to apply for open table and like spot on, like these company that is Toast competitor. One, it's so you can understand the industry better. Second, it's more like you want to create leverage, like, because who knows, like you might start interview process with their competitor, and if you do, like very importantly to tell each company like, oh, like I'm actually interviewing with the other company in these like POS system industry, you know, like say it in a way that like you're not threatening them, but like you know their strategy in it, like that's why you tell them that. So that's the reason that you should apply for the company that you got interview. So that's why you should do this. So here's a list of questions you should really master before the interview, because like throughout the whole conversation during the interview, they essentially just want to understand like these 4 categories, like why you, like what makes us why make us want to hire you, right? Like what are you different than other candidates? And then like why do you interested in tech sales? Like why this industry? And why us as well? Like why do you want to apply for our company? And why the change? Because like we are specifically like someone coming from a different industry. They want to understand, okay, like why? So like think about these why, prepare your story around it. And then like by this time, like you should be using Yodely. This is a very cool AI tool that is free, and most of my clients use this at the beginning, and then after they practice it daily, they will wanna like come to me for one-on-one coaching just to like really nail it down, define it, so you will feel super confident in the interview process. I would say like if I were to tell you, okay, like what makes Yodely important, but what also make like coaching important, it's Yodely. They can give you like you can do daily practice on Yodely, right? But like they're not perfect, so you should learn about. But the AI, but this thing like but Yodely is limited. Like they don't have a lot of like industry knowledge about okay what the hiring manager actually really looking for. They're more like evaluating your tone of voice, right? Give you some like high level feedback on your answer. But like that's why I tell my clients to use Yodely first, so you can build a foundation. But to really stand out and define your whole interview skills is through one-on-one coaching. Like that's why like they will book the call with me before their interview, right? We will do an actual mock one, right? As soon as you join the call, like we're just gonna role play as if it's the real one. The more you role play, the more you will feel at ease at the real interview. Okay, so like after you practice, here's one very important question. You should spend some time build a presentation deck around it. So essentially, I talk about this a lot in my oh my god, like my brain has been like, I've been filming this for almost 1 hour, like my brain is kind of like stuck now. So I've been talking about this whole thing in my YouTube a lot, and here's like how to actually like really show you step by step how to do it. Essentially, you want to build a presentation deck to showcase who you are. Essentially, slide 1, it's like a cover letter. You want to show them like your name, their company logos and stuff. And then you want to show like very instantly, fast, you got to show your value proposition. You want to tell them like what is your strength, what makes you stand out, what is your achievement, right? To really like hook them in. This presentation deck, it's more like ads, you know, like for the first 1 minute or 30 seconds that you open it, you gotta attract their attention, make them feel like, okay, like you're not just wasting time showing a presentation during interview, you know, like this is a bonus. Like not a lot of people would do it, but like my clients told me like the hiring manager really likes it. Like they literally light up, you know, like when they see a presentation deck like this. So it's not gonna take you a lot of time to build it as well. Like don't feel like, oh my god, I need to build another work. Like you just build it once, right? And then you change the name and the logo for a different company. And then like slide 3, you're basically expanding your experience highlight, right? Like basically expanding slide 2. Like, yeah, like you have these achievements, but like how did you get here? You're showing that. And then you can do slide 4, why this opportunity? You can showcase, if you hire me, you know, here's my action plan. Here's how I would achieve target. And then slide 5, you want to show a little personal touch. You want to show them like who you are as a person, like what you like, right? Because like they want to hire you not just 100% because of their technical skills. It's also because like they might like you, they find you interesting, and that's through these like personal touch showing. And then similar to the coffee chat, like here's how you actually should run the interview. And at the beginning, it's very, very, very important to build rapport, right? You need to like at least build some relationship at the beginning by understanding like where they are, also general compliment, right? Like build some connection, make the call fun. Because interview, it's always like very cold and like weird vibe, right? But you should be the one that take control, making the other person, which is a hiring manager, feel at ease, make them feel like, yeah, I see them, I see you working with me, I like you. Like that's the vibe you should give them, and you should create during the building rapport stage. And then it's your tell me about yourself, like the presentation that we just talked about. And it's very important just to control it within 5 to 7 minutes. Like don't use too much time, you know, because otherwise they get pissed. They was like, okay, like what is this? And like it applies for like general answer as well. Like all of your answer to their question shouldn't go over 5 minutes. Like people get bored, you know, like unless you're telling a dramatically like amazing story. But it's not necessary in the interview, right? Like as long as you are answering the point, right? If they ask you like, oh, like why do you want to work here? You just need to explain these points instead of going like telling your whole life story. Like they don't want to know, and it's wasting time, right? Like time management is also very important in sales. Okay, then like going into phase 3, right? Like they will ask you some question, and the core of answering their question is to answer the point, you know, and also like show evidence. So for example, there was like, okay, like why do you want to work here? You gotta reference specific research that you did, people that you talk to, right? Name drop. It's very important. Like if you meet with someone like from the company with coffee chat, like totally name drop, tell them like, oh yeah, I met with Chris, Brian, and Christina, like I really like working with them, and I sense the team vibe is cool, like I want to work here, you know. And also like it has to connect with your career goal, right? Like they want to see people that are willing to grow within the company, and then show your understanding with their challenge. Like guys, like are you seeing like what's this going on? Like all the hard work you did at the beginning when you were trying to like get the interview by networking with people, getting on calls, doing the 2 tiers strategy, like all of those work like come in place here. Like when you answer the question, you should really use all the information from there. After you answer the question, then it's your turn to ask them question. It's very, very important to ask good question here. It shows that you've done your homework. It shows that you know how to think, you know, and it shows that you stand out, because like not a lot of people would come up with thoughtful question, because like most people just treat interview like an exam, but this is a creative world, you know, especially in sales. Like in order to get prospect attention, you should be creative. So you should think about all the possible way you could think of to stand out. So it's very important to ask question in IPQ format again, right? So for example, like you also want to understand their performance, then you can just be like, yeah, like I was talking to some of yours, like information, start with information. You can be like, yeah, like through my coffee chat, I was talking with BDR, and then they're saying like they're typically hitting 120 and 150 of quota consistently. So like from my experience, I've seen like top performers usually have specific XYZ things, you know, like what are the success look like for people in your team in the first 90 days. Like guys, like the core here is ask smart question. Don't ask things you can Google, right? Don't be like, oh my god, like what do you sell? Like what exactly is this software? You know, like if you ask that, it's like KO, it's game over. So make sure you think about a question that it's generally like what you're curious about, what you want to know, and then ask them in the structure. And if you watch till here, and this is almost like a bonus, like if you can ask these 2 questions in the interview, like, oh my god, like your close rate would be so super high. So essentially, this question is like a cheat code. You want to ask, like, for example, you're meeting with HR, right? Or even you meet with a hiring manager. And if they're still next round, you want to know from their mouth what is important for you to showcase in the next interview. So that's why, like, you want to ask them, yeah, like, based on our conversation today, you know, I really enjoy it. And, you know, like, I still have next round interview. Like, what are the specific things you think I should, like, really highlight in the next round so I can stand out? You know, like, you want to know from their mouth, because like they are from the company, they know their colleagues well, right? The HR know the hiring manager well, the hiring manager know the VP that you need to meet with very well. So they will give you some tips that like you would just not be able to ask AI and Google it, right? And here's the way to extract those information. And lastly, asking closing question, you know, just like how in the coffee chat, like you were closing it to get a referral. In the interview, you also want to close. You want to sense them, like, based on our conversation today, like, do you have any hesitation moving forward, right? Like, you want to ask them and you want to look at their face and see if they actually have hesitation and not telling you, or they are actually like really happy with you, because you don't want them to just reject you and never tell you why. You want to address the objection on the spot there. And most of the objection, it just be like, oh, like, you don't have a lot of sales experience, like, we are hesitant for that. Then like at that time, like, you need to be able to address that. You can just be like, yeah, like, I hear you, like, I totally hear your concern, but like actually, but then like you can go like, but I actually see this as an advantage. I heard a lot of like managers saying they're struggling to train reps that have like experience from other company, and they have habit that they couldn't change, and they have old process they couldn't unlearn. Like for me, like, I'm super adaptable and coachable. Like, if you teach me this, I will stick with this. You know, like, there wouldn't be a time that you open this deal that, okay, like, no one logged the call, no one showed the message, no one write notes. Like, I come from, like, I'm basically like a blank canvas. Like, it's easier to paint on it, you know, and then you need to back up with more skills that you actually know about tech sales. You can be like, oh yeah, like, I read this book, like fanatical prospecting, and here's the ABC that I learned. Like, I totally see myself applying these skills in the first week, first 30 days that I work here. You know, like, this is objection handling, guys. Like, this is what you should be good at. And that's why like my clients practice with me on like one-on-one coaching, and even in group coaching we do like role play like this, you know, just to handle the objection. So then like so here's another things you can do to really go above and beyond. It's like before the interview, you should send the interviewer an email showcasing your 30, 60, 90 days plan, right? And then here is the AI prompt you can use to write it. Like, we never write these email with ourselves anymore, because like this should be quick, you know, like this is just a good to have, like good to add on. But what is very important, it's like how you behave in the interview. So that's why you want to practice more. The most successful people, they not only learn from their mistake, they also learn from others. You know, that's why we do group role play. That's why we do one-on-one mock calls, because you don't want to learn your mistake in the interview. So, and here's the post-interview email that you should send, and this is way more critical. After the interview, you gotta showcase your ability to follow-ups, and it's very important to send a follow-up email to all the people you met during the interview within 24 hours.
Welcome. In this module, I'm going to show you what is my movie and why you need one to land a job fast. If you've never heard of it, it's totally fine. It's basically a form of manifestation, because I truly believe this might be the missing piece that finally get you hired. I see a lot of common problem job seekers face is they apply for jobs, they get ghosted, company rejected them, then they just start thinking, am I good enough? Am I really cut out for this job? Here's what's really happening in your subconscious. You are carrying all the rejection, fears, and self-doubt. Even though you don't say it, on surface level, you tell yourself, yeah, screw that company, it's fine, I don't need them. You be like, yeah, it's fine. But the emotion that you have, the rejection, the fears, the self-doubt is actually still in you, and they show up in your present. It shows up when you are sending out outreach message, how you talk during interview, and sometimes in your thoughts, sometimes when you are second guessing yourself. It's basically your fear and your self-doubt. The good news is there is a solution, and My Movie is one of it. My Movie is basically a short video filled with image, words, and music that trick your brain into believing your dream life is actually happening. The truth is, our brain just really can't tell the difference between imagination and reality. We're gonna take advantage of that. If you watch the My Movie you create for yourself every day and actually feel the words, feel the image that you put into it, you will actually start thinking and acting someone that already deserved the dream job, making 10K, super confident, right? Super fulfilled in your new job. Let me show you how to make it. You don't need to create by yourself. I already make you a template. What you need to do is just copy this link, and then I'm gonna show you step by steps. I'm gonna log in as if I'm a user here, right? This is what you will see once you paste the link, and then click on use template for a new design. And then you can log in with one of the methods you preferred. There we go. Now we're in Canva, and this is the My Movie templates I created for you. It is a 10 minutes video. Let me break it down. Don't feel, oh my god, I need to watch this for 10 minutes. It's totally worth it, guys. I swear. In the first 3 minutes, you're just gonna look at this zoom in, zoom out image for 3 minutes. Don't skip it, because it's so important. Don't edit anything before this. Till here. Whenever you see a red words, you can twist it, change it, massage it into your way that feel right to you. In this case, this eyes is not really an Asian eye, but I'm an Asian. What you can do is you can change the eyes through elements. You can find the video that look your eyes and then put it here. And make sure you remove this lines, right? Once you've done that. And then the next visual that you're seeing is we're actually going into your subconscious, right? We're flowing into it, and here I added a lot of beautiful words for you. These are all affirmation that we really need to tell our brain we deserve the job we want. Here I want you to add your solo picture, a picture that you feel super confident and you really like the version of you in that picture. Put it here, and then when you watch the My Movie, make sure you feel all the words, read them out loud, say it in your brain, feel it, and then look at yourself, look at the whole image, and make sure you don't put anyone else's faces here, because the purpose of our My Movie is to manifest a dream job for you. Concentrate on your purpose. Then now here's the fun part. This is one of my clients' offer. He actually got a 200K job at Toast as an account executive. What you can do is change the name to yours, and then change it to your dream company, change it to the dates you want to start your dream job, and make sure you change the logo to whatever company you want to work at. And the best part is you can also copy and paste. If you have a couple company you really want to work at, you can change that here. Let's say the first one is Amazon, and then you want to work at, let's say, Salesforce, put it here. And one thing is, when you're watching this, read these out loud, feel it, feel the excitement that one day you actually get your dream job's offer, and they're telling you all this, they're giving you the offer, they're telling you the compensation. Read all the lines out. Then here it's another encouraging movie, encouraging email. So you can twist the words to whatever you, and make sure you read the words if that feels right to you. And then here is where the fun parts start. You can play around with images. You can go on Pinterest to find what kind of workplace you want to work at, right? And then is it at home, or is it at a vacation place, or is it at a cafe at your choice? You can do whatever image you, but make sure don't put other people's faces here, because you're not manifesting for them, you're manifesting for yourself. For example, in this picture, there's other people's faces here. What you can do is you can put your face on top of them, right? Cover their face and then just make it yours. Massage it into the version that you resonate with. And make sure you read all the lines. And here we're basically trying to mimic your dream company sending you a paycheck. Here, if you're not banking with Chase, change it to your current bank system. You know, let's say just like put a statement from your current bank, and then you can blur out the first two lines, make it change the name to your dream company, and then just like pretend they're sending you paycheck, and adding their logo here would help as well. And again, you can do it for multiple times, multiple form. This is basically just showing your bank and the balance you want to manifest as well. Okay, and then going down, there's just like different amazing affirmations you can read and tell yourself you can totally do it. Keep the image that resonates with you. If not, you can change it. You can also change the words too. So here, like, you can use your creativity, you know, like have fun with it. And up to here, I wouldn't change the slides, because I hear we're basically escaping or like coming out of our manifestation. So like these two slides is pretty critical. I wouldn't change it. And then after you come out of it, we are basically in the same like image again, like you watched at the beginning. So what you should do here as you are watching, you should think about all the image that you just watched, right? Like for example, it's the offer letter that you got from your dream company, or the dream workplace that you really want to work at. As you're watching these a couple minutes, think about it, recall it in your brain, feel it, you know. So yeah, that's what you should do. And what you can do is watch it twice a day. One is like as soon as you wake up, first thing in the morning, like even if you have to go pee, like just watch it first. And then the second time is before you go to bed, like turn off all the lights, make sure this is the last thing you do.
So that wraps up our full course. You know, like this is what you should do if you really want to land a tech sales job within a month. And if you feel like this is something that you've been looking for, this is the mentorship you're dying to like find on YouTube or somewhere else, feel free to book a call in the description, and then I will come out to take the call and I will have a chat and see if there's anything we can help you and how we can work together. So if you watch till here, you feel like, oh my god, like I love these information, but I also need help to implement it, because information is free. That's why we're giving it away. But actually implemented all these things, right? Making sure you're able to like pass interview, giving you like real-time support. These things require an investment. So if you feel like this is the mentorship you need, feel free to book a call with me in the description below, and I will come out and have a chat with you, right? See if there's anything we can help you with.